All right, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to go over how to enter in raw materials and parts and assemblies into Easy MRP. I think this is going to be a two-part series where in the first part, we're going to add in a raw material such as 18 gauge wipe coat steel sheet metal. And in the second video, we're going to make a part that is a made part instead of a purchased part. Okay, so having one of these product structure diagrams really helps the ERP or MRP planners enter in the data. They can look at this chart and immediately know what they need to enter in. So for Easy MRP, you can enter in any of these materials that in any sequence that you want. So you could put in the electrical box final assembly, and then you could enter in the 18 gauge wipe coat steel sheet metal sheet, and then you could put in the cam latch. It really doesn't matter what order you put any of these things into the MRP system, but I kind of like to work in a sequence that makes sense. So I'm going to work in the bottom-up sequence where we're going to enter this in, and then we're going to put in our parts, and then maybe put in this part and then move on. But in the end, it really doesn't matter. You just got to make sure you enter in all of these parts. Okay, so we'll head over to Easy MRP now. And the first thing you do to enter in a part is you go to Bills of Material. So we'll click this button, and this will take us to this screen where under File Maintenance, we'll click Part Master. So Part Master is this screen where you can enter in parts. And you can toggle between different parts that you set up with these buttons down here. So this will look the same for all parts. Okay, so to begin, we need our part number. So the part number is 100032. So we'll click Add, and we'll enter in 1. Current record has changed. Save it now. Yes. Part number is required. Field. Record not saved. Okay. I'm going to try and add it in now. 100032. Part number not found. Okay, I'm going to try add again. Add. 1. Current record has changed. Save it now. No. Okay. System did not like that. Okay. So I'm just going to close this screen and we're going to restart. So be patient. There's a few quirks with this software, but in the end, it's really quite powerful, and you'll see that. Okay, so we're going to go back to Bills of Material, Part Master. We're going to press Add, and I'm not going to switch to a different screen or anything like that, and I'm going to go 100032. So maybe you want to have this on a separate screen, your product structure diagram, or printed in front of you. Okay, so this is sheet metal, so it's unlikely that we revised it, although it's possible. So most revision levels, when it's never been revised, it starts at 0 and then goes through A to double Z, triple Z, you name it. So we'll put in the description here. Maybe I'll just save to be on the safe side. Okay, the source code is required, record not saved. Okay, so I'm going to put in source code. And I'm just going to press buy. So this is going to be a bought part versus a made part versus these other parts or these other codes that we're not going to worry about. So I'm just going to press buy and then press save. Okay, so it liked that. Now when I enter in any more info into this, I can just press save now that it's been created. I don't have to press add. Okay, so we'll steal the description here. So this is 18 gauge wipe coat steel. That is 48 by 96 inches. Okay, so that is done. Our bill of material units. Just going to move down, do all these check boxes one by one. Bill of material unit of measure. So we are going to use this in square inches. So when we have a part, a sheet metal part, we're going to use square inches. However, we purchase it using SM1. And if you recall from the previous video, SM1 was a 48 by 96 inch sheet. And when we put in the purchase unit of measure conversion, we said that there are 4,608 square inches in an SM1. And an SM1 is just a sheet that is 48 by 96 inches. So we set that up in the previous video. If you get lost at this point, go watch that video. You'll thank yourself. Okay, so moving on. Guess I could do the class code right now. So the class code could be whatever you want. I think you have 6 characters here. This was used at some people use this to segregate all of the sheet metal from the extrusion. So they're putting the type of material in a category. Or another way to do it would be to have, you have 4 buyers in your department. Maybe, you have class 1, 2, 3, 4, and each one of those materials is given to each buyer. So they'll be responsible for one, or number 1 buyer will be responsible for 1. Number 2 buyer will be responsible for class code 2. So remember, there's just not going to be one material in here. There could be thousands of different materials in your manufacturing ERP system. So we're just going to leave this blank. Moving down, we have a drawing number. It's probably going to be named 100032. You can set up a drawing location. It's kind of neat. You basically make a folder and then you put all your drawings in there, and then you click on the drawing 100032, and then it puts that location in this box here, and when you click the magnifying glass, the drawing pulls up. So basically it just navigates to that folder. So you can use the ERP to store drawings in the ERP system, or at least navigate to those for you. Manufacturing instructions. That could be like a work instruction. I don't know if I would use this per se for a work instruction because you don't have the ability to put in pictures, but it's there. So maybe simple work instructions, or just leave it blank. Stay away from this button if you press it. Oh, did you press it? Don't press it. If you press it, another window's going to pop up and you won't be able to close it and you'll have to close down this thing and restart again. So don't touch it. Okay. Moving on. The buyer is one of those buyers from the purchasing department, and Vivian is going to buy it. And the vendor code, well, I just made a vendor in the previous video, so I can search for it. Vendor is not in vendor table. Oh, maybe I have to go here. Oh, click the binoculars and Samuel S001. That's where we're going to buy it. And then you can, the same way you can link a picture of the part to here. So maybe you have like a little reference picture to what it is. Now this is a piece of sheet metal, so probably don't need a picture of that. And then finally you have notes. So maybe one of the notes is, orders must be entered in by Thursday to be received or to be shipped by Monday. So maybe that's something that's got to be in the notes. Otherwise, how do you know that? It's a great place to put it. Okay, moving on. We have lot size here, or what is this? Material order quantity, MOQ. That's what that stands for. Okay, so you can't just buy like one sheet at a time. Well, you can, but like it's going to cost $150 to deliver one sheet, and it's going to cost $150 to deliver 30 sheets. So you may as well buy the 30 sheets if you have the money to buy it. So I'm just using 30 as that's out of a hat. But it's not unreasonable to order 30 sheets of material if you're busy. So 30 sheets. The lead time, Samuel told me that it would take them, they would need, I guess, Thursday and Friday to get it on Monday. So they need 2 days, 2 business days. And to make sure that I don't run out, I'm going to set my safety stock to 10. Don't have a maximum per se. So I'm going to leave that, but maybe the maximum is, I don't know how much can fit on a rack without the rack, being overloaded. It's a real possibility. This stuff is heavy, and it's not just, it's not just a part number. It's not just 4,600 square inches. It's a lot of weight as well. So maybe that's what your maximum is set at. Okay, so inventory location. This is probably going to be stored on a rack. So maybe it's in building 1 and it's in row 1, bay 1, shelf 1. So you know where to find this stuff. You can imagine if you're warehousing a lot of material or storing a lot of material, or maybe it's not even that much, but you have a lot of different materials that you're storing, how easy it would be to lose stuff. So, and it happens all the time, like somebody will move something on the floor and they won't update this, and then all of a sudden nobody knows where to put the stuff, or nobody knows where it is, so they say, oh, we actually have 0 on hand. It's like, well, our ERP system says that we have 100 on hand, and you actually do have 100, but somebody moved it to a different location. So make sure that you use that. And I'm just gonna segue. I'm gonna steal like less than a minute of your time. I'm gonna go over this R1, B1, S1 of a rack. I think it's really cool how this is set up. So this is a typical rack. There's usually rows and rows and rows of this. And so this would be just going to draw here. So this would be row 1. Now this is a bay. So that's bay 1. This would be another bay. That's bay 2. So that's the horizontal shelves between the vertical structure. So this would be bay 3 and so on. And then you have S1 for shelf 1, shelf 2, shelf 3, and shelf 4. So row 1, so if you wanted to find something here, well, that's going to be row 1, bay 2, shelf 2. For this sample example exercise, we're going to store it right on S1, right here. We're going to put all the sheet metal right about there. Okay, so we'll head back to easy MRP, and so we're storing it in building 1, row 1, bay 1, S1. The inventory type, we're just going to leave that blank. That refers to discount and things like that. Now this one's a really, really important one. Material cost. So the material cost of a raw material is what it's going to be. The material cost of a part, it doesn't lose its material value, but you won't enter in anything here because you didn't buy that part. You made that part from a bought part. So we're just going to put the cost of that material in the bought part. Okay, so it's not unreasonable for a sheet of this size and gauge to cost about $150. So I'm going to put, you would assume that you would put 150 here, but don't do that. You have to put it in the bill of material unit of measurement. So you take the cost of the sheet, 150, and you divide it by 4608. So it's 3.255208, and just steal this as far as you can go. So we'll copy that and we'll enter that in here. Okay, so that's the cost per square inch. And if you do it this way, so you'll get the right cost of the actual part that you make from the sheet metal. So how you do that is you take your total cost, which we said was total cost divided by bill of material unit of measure. So in this case, it's $150 per sheet, and you're dividing it by 406.08 square inches per sheet. And so the sheets cancel and you're left with, what did we say here? 0.0325 dollars per square inch. Okay, so that is the material cost there. We haven't really put any labor into it. We of course need to store it but I haven't seen storing material associated with the cost of the material. So we're just going to leave that. Burden, we're going to leave that, and these prices, we're going to leave that as well. These things like labor and burden, they're really going to be impacted by a made part. So we'll go over that in the next video. Final thing, really important to do, just click save. You don't want to lose your data. Anyway, so that concludes this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment in the comments section if there's something that's confusing. And in the next video, we're going to go over a made part, entering in a made part. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you.